What would you do if the most powerful man in your country stopped everything just to hunt a poor mechanic? This happened one hot afternoon in Ouagadougou, and it shocked everyone who saw it. It was a moment no one expected, a moment that showed the true meaning of friendship and respect. The sun was hot over the city of Ouagadougou. Cars drove fast on a dusty road near a busy junction. By the corner, a man in dirty, oily clothes worked on an old pickup truck. His name was Thomas. His hands were black with grease. His face was covered in sweat. Thomas was once full of big dreams. In school, he was the best student. He always helped others and believed he would grow up to change the world. But life did not go the way he hoped. When he was just 16, his parents died in a house fire. He had to leave school and take care of his little sister. He learned how to fix cars from an old man in his village. Later, he moved to the city and started a small roadside workshop. Life was very hard. Some days, customers got angry at him. Other days, he went home with no money. But Thomas never complained. He believed that if he stayed honest and worked hard, life would one day become better. Then, something very strange happened. On that day, a long black car stopped at the junction. Men in black suits stepped out. The traffic was stopped right away. People gathered and he froze and whispered, "Thomas." Still, Thomas didn't look up. "Please wait a moment. I'm almost done," he said, not knowing who was speaking to him. But then the voice spoke again, louder this time. "Thomas, is that really you?" Thomas turned around slowly. He wiped the sweat from his face with a rag. He stood up and looked at the man. "Ibrahim?" For a moment, they both just stood there. Then something amazing happened. The president of Burkina Faso took off his cap and hugged Thomas tightly. "I can't believe it's you," he said, tears falling from his eyes. "My best friend. My brother." The people around them gasped. The powerful president was crying, holding a simple mechanic like a long-lost treasure. The bodyguards looked confused. They didn't know what to do. Thomas couldn't speak. His throat was tight. His heart was heavy. He had not seen Ibrahim since they were both boys in the village. They had once promised to stay in touch, to work together to help their country. But life took them on different paths. One became a president, the other a mechanic. "You promised we would change this country together," Ibrahim said softly. "How did I let this happen to you?" Thomas smiled kindly. "You didn't let anything happen. Life just took us in different directions." The president held Thomas by the shoulders. "I want to hear everything. Come with me. Leave this place." But Thomas shook his head. "I can't. I have work. I have customers." Ibrahim wiped his tears. Then he said, "Then I will sit with you here." And he did. The president of the country sat beside his old friend, the roadside mechanic, and the whole city watched in silence. The president sat down on a wooden stool beside the dusty mechanic. People watched in disbelief. Cars stopped. Phones came out to record the unexpected scene. But Ibrahim didn't care. All he said softly, "Still stubborn, still humble." Thomas chuckled. "And you're still dramatic, sitting on a bench next to a dirty mechanic in front of the whole world. Your guards must be panicking." Ibrahim laughed through tears. "Let them panic. They need to learn that power means nothing without loyalty and truth. You were always the one who reminded me of that." Thomas grew quiet. His eyes welled up. "Remember the day we got caught stealing mangoes from Old Man Kibley's farm?" Ibrahim burst out laughing. "You ran so fast your shoe flew off and landed in the river. But you refused to leave me behind. That was the day I knew you were different. I told you back then, Ibrahim," Thomas said, "that one day we'd leave this country together." Ibrahim nodded. "But I couldn't follow you. You had to care for your sister." "I know," Ibrahim said, pausing. "I should have searched harder for you. I should have helped." Thomas sighed, looking at his rough, oil-stained hands. "I don't blame you, Ibrahim. In fact, I'm proud of you. Look at what you've become. You're changing this country." The president looked down. "But how can I say I'm changing the country when my best friend, the brightest boy I knew, is still struggling to survive?" Just then, a small girl, about 10 years old, ran up to Thomas. "Papa, Mama said to remind you to come home early. There's no firewood left to cook the rice." The little girl stopped and looked up at the man beside her father. Her eyes widened. "Papa," and joy. Ibrahim nodded. "She deserves more than this, Thomas. You've done your part. Now let me help." Thomas stood up. "Ibrahim, listen, I don't need charity. I just want you to promise me one thing." "Anything," Ibrahim said. "Promise me you'll make this country a place where no child has to leave school to survive. Promise me you'll protect the honest, the hard-working, people like me who never gave up, even when life was cruel." The president stood too, took Thomas's hand, and held it tightly. "I promise you on my honor, I will do more. And I will begin today with you." That evening, President Ibrahim canceled all other plans. He returned to the palace and called an emergency meeting with his ministers. "Today," he told them, "I sat with a man who reminded me why I became president. We must do more. We must find and lift up those who quietly hold this country together with their bare hands." He didn't mention Thomas by name, but in his heart burned a new fire. A fire fueled by friendship, love, and the pain of seeing someone so good still struggling. Meanwhile, Thomas walked home, holding his daughter's hand, his steps slow, but his heart lighter than it had been in years. For the first time, hope glimmered in his eyes. A new beginning. A true friend. The story of Thomas and President Ibrahim. With Amina holding his hand, Thomas walked among his neighbors. Everyone looked at him with new respect. But Thomas didn't care about fame. He was simply happy that his friend had remembered him. And maybe, just maybe, things were about to change. The next morning, the sun rose slowly over Ouagadougou. Thomas was already at his workshop, tightening the chain on a motorcycle, when he felt something unusual. Cars began to slow down. people stopped to look. He turned around and froze. A convoy of black government vehicles pulled up in front of him. But today, something was different. It wasn't the people. People of Burkina Faso, today I want to introduce you to my friend. Not just any friend. This is the man who was the smartest student in our class. When I was failing, he taught me math. When I had no food, he shared his. He gave up his dreams to take care of his sister. And when I became president, he quietly kept fixing motorcycles. The crowd listened in silence. Yesterday, he reminded me what true service looks like. He didn't ask for money. He asked me to serve honest, hard-working people like him. And today, I came to keep that promise. He turned toward Thomas. Thomas, from today, your workshop will become a government training center where you will teach youth your skills. The building is ready. Tools and a team are provided. Thomas stood in shock. Ibrahim continued. Your daughter Amina will receive a full scholarship to any school or university she chooses. And your family will be given a new government house. Tears rolled down Thomas's cheeks. He had never dreamed of such a thing. He stepped to the mic, hands trembling. I never wanted fame, he said. I just wanted to do what was right. There are many people like me in this country, honest, hardworking, but unseen. Please don't forget them. By evening, the story had spread across the country. Social media, TV, radio, everywhere, people were talking about Thomas. The next day, while Thomas was sweeping the front of his new training workshop, a luxury car stopped in front of him. Two men in suits stepped out. We want to make you a private business offer, one said. Inside, they placed a thick envelope on the table, 5 million CFA francs. We know you're close to the president, one whispered. We just want you to serve him a drink at your next meeting. That's all. He'll get sick for a few days. Nothing serious. In return, we'll give you a new house, a new car, and send your daughter abroad for studies. Thomas stared at them. You want me to poison the president? No, not poison. Just a special drink. Thomas nodded slowly. Come back in 2 days. I'll think about it. As soon as they left, Thomas rushed home and told his wife everything. I can't betray him. I'll go straight to the president. That same night, Thomas arrived at President Ibrahim's office with the envelope, supermarket to run. Thomas's old workshop became the largest training center in the country, with dozens of young men and women learning trades every week. That evening, sitting in their new home, Thomas said with joy, We're not just celebrating success. We're celebrating truth and friendship. President Ibrahim looked out his window at the stars and whispered, Some presidents are protected by guards. I'm protected by a friend. And so, a new chapter began in Burkina Faso, where truth was greater than wealth, and friendship had the power to change a nation. Dear viewers, if you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next inspiring story. Thank you.